911, what's your emergency?
The following content is graphic, emotional, includes dark humor that may not be suitable for all listeners. Discretion is advised. These stories are based on real-life EMS, military, and healthcare experiences. Calls are real, providers are real, names and details have been changed to protect privacy. They may be disturbing to some and are definitely inappropriate for HR department. Any medical or mental health discussion is personal experience, not protocol. Use your damn brain. Follow your local guidelines, and when in doubt, call Med Control. If you're struggling, don't do it alone. Talk to someone, a coworker, a friend, a therapist, or hell, reach out to me. I'll answer. Need help right now? Text or call 988 or visit 988lifeline.org.
Stop giving a fuck what people think about you. It's very hard to do, but if you do your work, you get into a place where you stood in the sunlight of the spirit. What are you going to do to me that I haven't already done to myself?
True.
I paid $1 million over 5 years for an office in Dallas. My friend said, how the hell do you sleep at night? What the fuck are they going to do to me that I haven't already been through?
If you think it's too heavy to say it anyway. It beats a eulogy. You don't have to apologize for surviving however you can. You're not the reason things are heavy. You're the reason they're still moving. Need support right now? Reach out to me. Reach out to somebody. Text or call 988 or visit 988lifeline.org. You're not alone. Not in this job. Not in this fight. Want to share your story or connect? Visit critical-run.com or message the Facebook page, Dispatched and Dysfunctional. We're building this for you, for them, for all of us.
911, what's your emergency?
The following content is graphic, emotional, includes dark humor that may not be suitable for all listeners. Discretion is advised. These stories are based on real-life EMS, military, and healthcare experiences. Calls are real, providers are real, names and details have been changed to protect privacy. They may be disturbing to some and are definitely inappropriate for HR department. Any medical or mental health discussion is personal experience, not protocol. Use your damn brain. Follow your local guidelines, and when in doubt, call Med Control. If you're struggling, don't do it alone. Talk to someone, a coworker, a friend, a therapist, or hell, reach out to me. I'll answer. Need help right now? Text or call 988 or visit 988lifeline.org. All right. Welcome back to Dispatch Dysfunctional. This one's a little bit different today. Today I've got Dr. Robb Kelly with me. And Rob, I'll be honest, when I looked at your form, there were a few things that stood out that I was not expecting.
Okay. Well, can't wait to hear these.
Your police work, your gang division, your alcohol, losing your family, your sobriety, and that one line that needed to be said is that you had to handle your trauma before you ever got to the police academy. That right there, that's not even a small sentence. That right there that's powerful.
Yeah.
And I wish a lot of more people would understand that. But before we get into all that, before we get into all that, and before anyone Googles anything about you, who are you? Not the resume version, but the human version.
Human version, my name's Robb Kelly. I'm from Manchester, England. Grew up on the projects, or if English people are listening, on the council estates. Very low income family. Picked up my first guitar at the age of 3 or 4. I had a musical family. My uncle and auntie were semi-pro. We go out weekends and play gigs. And by the age of 9, I'm on stage with them. You know, the little guy in the back playing. So always wanted to be a pro musician, and grew up Manchester, and then great family, loving family. And then 20 years ago, after everything that I'd been through happened, I came over to Dallas, Texas for 3 weeks and never went home. And here we are 20 years later.
Wow. So you're in Dallas now?
No, I'm in San Antonio now.
Okay. Well, that's not very far different.
4 years ago, we decided, I met my wife 11 years ago. We got married 10 years ago. And I always told her that one day we would move to San Antonio, where our family's from. And 4, 5, 6 years ago, that's what we did. So yeah, we're in our dream home. We have a great life today.
That's awesome. I love the Riverwalk down there.
Yeah. It's funny because every time somebody comes to visit, we do I have a restaurant now. It used to be down the river where we'd go to this English cafe, but next door to my office, I open a British restaurant. So we start the British restaurant next door. I feed them and everything, fish and chips and stuff. And then we go down to the river, we get on the boat, we do the boat stuff. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love it down there. My dad's actually from my dad before we passed, he was from San Antonio, and
Wow.
we visited family there a lot. It was nice.
Love it.
So I know when you filled your form out, um, you actually thought about it, and that was awesome because a lot of people just fill it out like they're going to a damn conference. But yours was like, "Hey, I've been through hell. I'm willing to talk about it. Let's talk about it." So, what made you say yes to this show, and what made this worth feeling? What made this feel worth talking about? Bleh. I can't even read my own writing.
Yeah. I've been on thousands and thousands of podcasts. I think I'm on Rogan in September. They're
Wow.
good friends of mine. Yeah, Garrett, Grant, all them guys they've circle and mixing. So the secret is Courtney, my media director. She goes out and she scours the internet for people that are changing the world on podcasts. And then we humbly come to you and say, if there's any chance of coming on your podcast, we don't care if you got one follower or a million. It makes no difference to us. But yeah, so, thank you for changing the world, first of all, because that's what that's the only people we choose nowadays. And we turn 15 podcasts down a month. But we
Oh wow!
found that
So,
people are changing the world, and that's what I'm all about. If we can, I very rarely do I promote anything on podcasts. I don't books with nothing. It's just that if we can save a life today, if we can save a vet suicide, if we can save somebody going to commit suicide or check heroin to death or drink themselves to death or depressed, or we've done our job today. So that's why we're here.
100%, and the whole statistics behind suicides and first responders and veterans, and it's so overlooked and such a tragedy every day.
It
I don't
is.
remember the statistics, but I believe it was one every 45 minutes or something like that.
Yeah. That sounds about right. That's the only thing that upsets me in America. I'm American now. I became a citizen some 8 years ago, and I take it very seriously. But that's the only thing I have about the country is the way we treat our vets. It's just, yeah, it's, I don't know, man. We do everything we can. We go to, places where we teach vets about PTSD and stuff like that. So I'm all for them. We donate really heavily to veterans here, me and my wife, probably about 200 grand a year out of our own pockets. We donate to different places because I'm all about that, man. I love the way America works. I love the way their guys fought for us, and I hate seeing homeless on the streets because I've been homeless myself. And it's no fun. So I'm the guy always giving money out to these guys. And I stopped the other day at the traffic lights. It was on red, and there's a guy there collecting, and I'd seen him a couple of times before, so he came over. I gave him, I don't know, $20 or something. And my friend next to me said, "Oh, you know what he's going to do with that, don't you?" And I replied, "Well, I fucking hope he's going to buy alcohol and drugs, because when I was on the streets, that's what I would have done. What he does, my $20 is no concern of mine, But I know I'm trying to give back as much as I can, and it keeps me that side of life where I want to be."
And I bet on that note too is, when you see something like that, like you said, you were homeless for a minute.
Yeah.
So when you see someone like that, I bet it does bring PTSD back to you as well. And you're trying to help change their lives so they don't have to deal with what you've dealt with. Sure.
Yeah, yeah. It's every time I see somebody, my heart goes out because I've been there. I've been there when people spit on you. I've been there when people walk over you after being passed out. I've been being disgraced by society. Um, I know what they're feeling like. When I was on the street, I met vets, I met doctors, I met surgeons that had just kind of gone through a rough patch, and all of a sudden they find themselves homeless, and it's an array of people. So automatically when I see somebody, I mean, I'm a doctor, for God's sake. I was homeless, sat next to this surgeon, and we're begging for money. I mean, you wouldn't even believe that scenario could happen. So when I see someone on the streets, I don't go to, "Oh my God, he's given up," or he's got a problem with drugs and everything. It's like, shit happens to families, families break up. I mean, you've only got to look at the cost of living today. I don't give a shit about politics. I'm not getting into that. But
Yeah,
you know,
100%.
oh, I've seen a lot of people having to give up mortgages, rent, you have to move into a little apartments or go to the food bank, and you know, we have a non-profit and we do as much as we can, but yeah, it still hurts.
Man, you do a lot of awesome things. That's amazing.
I think it just goes back to my bringing up and my stuff I went through myself. I didn't see my kids. I took the authorities took my kids off ages 1 and 3 or 2 and 4 on that age. But yeah, it's just like why for me anyway is why would I not do that? Why I all my offices around the world, we have 5 offices around the world, they get something like, I don't know what it is, something like $100, $200 a month that we keep in the safe. And if that $200 is not used up during that month, as in giving, donating, blessing people, then that comes out of their wages. So in other words, you have to give that away to somebody. No vets. We have a breath box thing that we do. It's a software that works on PTSD, but no vet pays with that stuff when I'm around. You know, it's just it makes everything I've been through worthwhile because I know what it's like for a smile, a good morning, a $5 or £5 back home. It changed my world right there and then. And why would I not do that? In fact, actual fact, I was dating my wife. And this is why one of the reasons why I married her is she didn't really know what I did. We're on our second date. We're in Dallas somewhere, and I take her to a restaurant. We come out, we both got little doggy bags and leftovers and stuff. And we're walking through, and we passed a homeless guy, and he was an older guy, and he had all these bags around him, and he didn't say anything. But we walked past, and she stopped. And she turned around, she went back to him. Now, bearing in mind, she doesn't know what I do right now. She went back to him, and she said, "Would you like this food?" And his eyes lit up, and she took the food down, gave it to him, and I thought, wow, that's the girl I'm going to marry. And I told her that night on a second date, and within 9 months, we were married. It's like I surround myself with people that give. I surround myself whether it's money or time or whatever, these podcasts, whatever it is, I surround myself with them people. And if you're so inclined not to do that, then I got no time for you.
Right there.
You know? So I mean, that's people go, oh, you shouldn't do that. I don't give a shit what you think about me, and I don't give a shit what your opinions are. This is the way that I give back. God's blessed me with earning, you know, a great living. So 25% of whatever we earn goes back as well. That's business. So we do that with our own money, first of all. But apart from that, 25% of what we earn, and we're a multi-million-dollar company. I own 5 companies. It goes back into, you know, helping the people. It goes direct to them. We don't do charities. We'll take somebody off the street. We'll put them in an apartment for 12 months. We'll pay for the visit to courts so he can see his children once a week. That's the kind of stuff. We'll buy him a cheap car so he can run around. We'll look for a job for him. It's stuff like that we do. And the rest of the shit pays the bills, Chris. That's the way we
That
look at it. You know,
that's
kids
fucking awesome.
bills.
That is awesome. I would love to work for someone like you.
I know everybody says that. It's like most of the people I've treated now working for me. But yeah, it's crazy when you really find out what we do and what we stand for. Uh, I like to think that it touches people's hearts. I mean, like my restaurant, you know, only yesterday, two a man and wife called. They're down on the luck, the homeless, his homeless shelter in San Antonio, and they just called because they'd seen me on a podcast, and they didn't want anything, Chris. They just said, "We want to call you. You changed our life. You know, we're actually going through some rough times right now, but that's okay, man. We just did." So I said, "Where are you?" So I got a taxi, Uber, to pick him up, and I brought him down to my restaurant, and I give him every single food they want, and we give him bags of food to leave, and desserts, and chocolate, and then we took him back, you know, to where they was. But it's just shit that I do, man. It makes me happy, and I know, you know, God saved me off the street, so it's my duty.
Man, that's amazing to see. And like I said, reading your stuff, you've worked in the gang divisions. You've done, you became an addict yourself. There's just so much. Your wife took your kids. There's just so much that you have done, and now you're trying to better yourself and better everyone that's around you. I guarantee you that's helping your own mental state too. And
Oh, fun. That's why I could come on your show, Chris, because she sees somebody who's doing the same. She sees somebody who values other people's lives. You see, I don't want something from you. I want something for you. There's a difference there. There's a huge difference. And, my kids were taken off me. So I stabbed my wife 3 times one night because she wouldn't let me finish a bottle of vodka. That's
wow,
what started. Yeah. So I fled to Spain. There was an attempted murder charge out on me. 6 months later, they dropped the charges. Back in England, if you drop charges, the police can't prosecute unless you kill somebody. So I came back home, and a few days after that, she left with the children, and I got the kids back a day or two later because of my attorney. And I was drunk for 2 or 3 days, never fed the kids or changed diapers, and they took them off me. And the last thing the daughter said to me was, "Daddy, Daddy, please stop drinking." And I
so were
couldn't
you a police officer at this time?
I'd been fired from the police some years ago. So when I come out of college, that's the story in itself. Um, yeah, I only lasted about 9 months in the police force, and they fired me for being drunk every day.
Wow.
Yeah, I just couldn't stop, Chris. And it kind of it miffs me today with all the research we've done. We've probably done about $2 million on research. So we're kind of the number one guys. I write for Harvard. I'm on TV. I booked and all that. But we put so much into research because we knew that the brain wasn't hardwired. We knew that we could change the brain. I knew this from when I was homeless. Something happened to me, and I knew that the brain could be changed and developed into a different lifestyle. And the daddy, daddy, please stop drinking stuck in my head, and I tried so many times to contact my 2 daughters, Charlie and Abigail. Um, and then about 5 years ago, we're in San Antonio, just been here about a year, so 6 years ago. I got a message in the middle of the night, and I'm doing all this stuff in the background, and I'm helping people, and I know God's seeing this. And one day, I kept telling people I was 62. Yeah, 61 at the time, and in the middle of the night. So I'm a concierge doctor. I only treat 4 patients, movie stars and high profile people. But the rest of my staff deal with people like me, everyday people. But it was Charlie, my eldest daughter, and I was in the middle of the night, so I'm squinting at this message on Facebook, and the first 2 words that she wrote was, "Hey, Dad." She called me Dad. Um,
But that hit deep.
Yeah. So she said, "Hey, I've seen you on TV. I'm sick of what everyone's telling me. I need to see you. I'm sorry it's been so long. I have something to show you. When can you come over?" So we have people around us, as you can imagine. Within 7 hours, 4 hours maybe, we're on a plane back to England. We stayed in a hotel around the corner from her house, and the walk to the house, I was crying. I couldn't stand up. I was all that shit came back. Shit, father, da da da. We got to the door. My wife was holding me up, and I'm sobbing. And I said to my wife, "I can't do this." And I was just about going to turn around. Charlie opened the door. We hugged and we cried. And I said it was about an hour. My wife said it was a minute. But it's just in the moment it felt. And she took me by my hand. And this is where I know that all the stuff I did behind the scenes, I don't give a shit whether people know or not. She took me into a living room and she handed me my 3-month-old granddaughter.
Aw.
And right there and then I knew that I was doing God's work, and I knew that I can't stop this. But right there, Chris, I said it out loud when I'm holding Alice, my granddaughter, that if God wanted to take me now, I'm good. I'm fucking good, man. Because you can't give me anything else to cap that. No money can buy that. No status, no nothing. Whatever you surround yourself with, toys, big houses, cars, nothing can replace the first 10 seconds when I was holding Alice in my hand, in my arms.
Eh, in my mind, that was probably just a big release for a major release of endorphins as well, but just a big release in your own mental state because you were probably beating yourself up for years, and then you seeing
Yeah,
that little baby.
absolutely. But it's funny though, because my daughter, we sent her back to school because she wanted to do what we do. And she's my lead therapist in my Manchester, UK office.
That is fucking cool.
Right. So many times, the alcoholic will come, or the addict, or depressed, or PTSD. We treat everything to do with mental health will come. And the daughter comes on as well, because we insist, if you're married, then the partner needs to come on for 2 days while you do 7 days. But anybody over the age of 18 needs to come on who's still living in the house. And often I get to work with the father, and my daughter gets to work with his daughter. It's the coolest.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, that's gee, I'm not sure where to follow up from that one.
Yeah. It's I've not yet stopped and looked back on my life, Chris, to be honest. I know I'm blessed. I know I'm doing some good stuff, but it's like anywhere, when you get to a certain point in any career that you choose, where it becomes a lonely place, you know,
True.
people think you already know that you're good enough. And really, I will always struggle with that. I will always have the imposter syndrome, no matter how much I work on myself. It's better today. It's about 2%. It used to be 100%. But yeah, I mean, it's just, that life it's been crazy. And, I remember when I met my wife 11 years ago, I was out the industry. I got so dismayed because I'm telling everybody the brain's not hardwired, and they're saying you're crazy. And, therapists were crazy. Doctors were telling me I was wrong. The board, licensing board stripped me on my license to practice because I was
Damn.
talking. Yeah, it was, I lectured to those guys today, by the way. It took me 6 months to get it back. And so when I met my wife, I'm driving a car for a pest control company as a sales guy. And I tell them these stories about all the famous people and the stuff we've been through. And I'm sure she thought was, making all this shit up. And then I got a phone call at the treatment center one day, and they asked for me to call me Dr. Robb, and I'd not heard that for years. And yeah, so I decided to take that job. That there was a patient in there that needed my help. So I started with that. And then, a few years later, she gets to introduce to all these amazing guys that, movie stars and homeless people and musicians and bartenders. I mean, the life we lead is when you're flying around on $120 million jets, it kind of, I come from nothing. I have to check myself sometimes. I remember the first time I went, I got all cocky and look at me. And, and I remember saying to my wife, uh, I came off doing a TV thing that was regularly on. I think it was the doctors. We came off stage, and I said to her, where's my chauffeur? And she looked at me and she slapped me across the face. And I gasped. She's not that kind of person. And she just told me straight, if I ever hear you say that again, that you're entitled or you're somebody, this marriage is over. And it really grounded me. And she keeps me grounded now. And the people I have around me keep me grounded. I mean, I'm Rob Kelly from the streets, I'm nothing special. It's just that I've devoted all my work in life and my work that I've done to helping other people. And, it makes me happy, joyous, and free. And, to do my part again, because the biggest compliment I get is when patients come on board who don't already know about me, and they go, "You're an alcoholic and a drug addict?" Yeah, right? Because I don't look like that today. But when I show them pictures like that, oh my God. So yeah, we live life, 24 hours at a time, because that every 24 hours the brain resets. It's not an AA thing. It's 24 hours at a time. Is living in the now. We live in the now. We can have anything we want and do anything we want. It's when we start thinking about tomorrow or yesterday, does the anxiety and the depression come in.
So, on that note right there is, do you ever have cravings ever again, or?
No. So the compulsion to drink and use was taken away. And I don't. I mean, now and again, uh, my wife will have a glass of wine at dinner with the parties, and I can pour the wine. My sister drinks when they come around. We get drinks in for her, but it's just not for me. It makes me ill when I drink it. I'm allergic to the ethanol in alcohol, is the way I put it. Because if I was to go, something, I think I'll have one drink. I'm out for 6 months, and I probably won't get back. I'd be in Vegas somewhere. I'd go through millions of dollars. I'd be dead. Um, Not as if I never fight that feeling. It's just that if I ever did, no doubt, because the real alcoholic And drug addict, when they take the first drug or alcohol, you can't stop. So the alcoholic is branded around, John around the corner, he drinks 2 bottles of vodka. He's an alcoholic. Well, alcoholism is the only self-diagnosed illness in the world. Alcohol has 1% to do with alcoholism. Drugs have 1%. Sex, food, porn, PTSD has 1% to do with what happened at the time. It's not the problem. The problem is how the brain has reacted to that and put you in a position that's made you feel unsafe, that are craving every day, that's running around trying to chase the life back, and you just get deeper and deeper, and that's when the suicides and the deaths come.
Wow. That's okay. I didn't know that. That's
Yeah, it's one of our biggest findings when we researched the brain for so long, and we found out with alcoholics that 3 parts of the brain differ to any other human being in the world. Yeah, that's why I said it's mainly to do with the hypothalamus, which is our survival part of the brain. So we're born, alcoholics are born, drug addicts are made. So alcohol, we've traced back to a fetus level with the alcoholic gene, even though it's not well known because that goes back into the taxes that we pay on beer and alcohol and all that shit. If that was common knowledge, we've tried to make it common knowledge for the last 5 years. People still debate that, but it's true. So if we can look at the brain and the mind and not the alcohol or the drugs, then that's when the real healing starts. So we can cure addiction. We cure any addiction. We cure PTSD, depression, anxiety. We tell you, if I don't, I'll give you money back. We're the only company in the world that does that. We can't cure alcoholism because of the hypothalamus. So the hypothalamus is one survival part of the brain. But with alcoholics at a certain point of their drinking career, like me, the hypothalamus turns around and tells the prefrontal cortex, our decision maker, to drink alcohol to survive. So that's when wives or kids and everything go bye-bye. When I'm concentrating, when the brain's telling me you have to drink alcohol to survive, and if you don't drink alcohol, you're going to die. That's why it's a disease, because we have no control of when we relapse or not. It's not a choice that we have. And when it comes to drug addiction, that's the addictive personality. So 97% of addicts that come to us started in the doctor's office. So it's simple but complicated to educated when everyone's been brought up on the same mentality that you're an alcoholic and you're an alcoholic and you're a drug addict. That if you would try and make any change to that, I wrote a piece for Harvard University's psych ward, McLean Hospital, and it explained it in detail that this is what we're known for, this is what we believe. We have all the research, and we have a almost 100% success rate with money back guarantee. You pay to come here. If you relapse while still following our program or get depressed or anxiety or PTSD, I will refund every dime you've put into my office. Nobody else does that. Why?
no.
Because it's an industry, man. It's a money-making industry. Me and you have to pass an assessment to get to come on as a patient. We don't take anybody. Now, me and you could call 100 treatment centers right now, PTSD clinics, everything. The first question they're going to ask you, do you have insurance? If I say, yeah, I'm in. Not here. We don't take insurance, for one. And secondly, I'm not just taking you because mommy and daddy's got a big checkbook and I know that I can't change you. I'm not taking you on because, people promised my mom and dad all the world, and we spent a fortune on my treatment, and it didn't work because they wasn't teaching you anything. You can't just say alcoholic or depressed and just stop. Just, stop drinking, stop being depressed. It doesn't work like that.
You have to want to be healed. That's the thing.
You've got to not only want it, you've got to be prepared to do the childhood trauma, which is the gateway drug, the deep work on yourself. And, when I talk about childhood trauma, people think it's the plane crashes, the car crash, the divorce. No, that's 1% to do what's really going on. It's the deep hidden stuff either you know about, but you're taking to the grave with you. But most of the stuff is stored in the subconscious brain, so you don't even know about it. You just know your life is miserable. You can't keep a job. You can't keep a partner. Your life's gone to shit and you can't get it back. I mean, that's all you know. But, we cure that stuff because there is a cure for that stuff. And it's changing the brain and the mind in such a way that only good can happen going forward, because the negativity of the neural pathways. So if 300 neural pathways die every day, which they do, what are we replacing them with? is the question we ask people, and it's all the repeated patterns of the depression in the childhood, the rape, the monster, whatever it is. They're repeating that. Whenever they see something that triggers them off, they're repeating that, and it becomes part of the thought pattern. We need to change. So 300 neural pathways die. What are we replacing them with? Well, we have to start replacing them with our program, with our new thoughts, with expecting great things to happen every day, and not getting up, doom and gloom that, oh, today's not going to be good because I've got to say, oh, I hear this all the time. I've got to take the kids to school. Let me stop you right there. You get to take the kids to school. Do you know how many people I know that would give their right arm to be able to take their child to school because they can't have children? It's perspective on life. Get your shit together. Be a mom or a dad, do your duties and get your life together. It's not that hard from our perspective. It seems impossible from their perspective, but it's not. There's help out there, and we have the solution.
That's awesome. So I guess one question on that is, what is a good way to start for PTSD, for instance? I know you have secrets and stuff that you can't give out, but for instance, what is a easy thing for someone like myself to do to try to overcome it?
The first thing I tell people is start dialogue. Most people with illnesses and PTSD and stuff like that are secretive. They isolate. Isolation is the worst that you could do to a human being. Is start dialogue with somebody, and then do your research and find out who's the leading authorities in that, and it will probably come up, no doubt. But yeah, that's the second one is making that phone call, man. And what a lot of people know is when they call a doctor or they call here, they oh yeah, of course, yeah. No, question the people that you're getting treatment of. Ask them what their success rate is, and then what we have to do is go back and we uncover, discover, discard of incident or incidents that's happened to them. Most obviously vets have been in the war zone, and you have to start working, uncover what it's about, discover how it happened and why, and then discard from the memories. So we have software. We have a company called BreathBox that it's a software that changes the brain into positivity and works on the subconscious brain. You just wear headphones. And we do it online. But yeah, I mean, it's just all sorts of stuff that we can do that other people are not doing because, again, this ain't a job. I could retire tomorrow, buy an island somewhere, no doubt, jump on there with my 2 dogs, my cat, my wife, and just be me all the time. One of the reasons we do it, and obviously we'll continue to do it to the day I die, is the information needs to be passed on. But any change in the medical fraternity, they scowl that because, let's face it, the pharmaceutical companies run this country. Run the country.
100%.
Yeah, so they're too big to fight. I did an interview with Purdue, which one of the big guys were making bad drugs, and it was a heated live argument. You can go Google, guys. It was their COO and their financial guy, not financial, their legal guy. And it got really, really heated and they had to cut it. But the very next day they filed for bankruptcy. It's like, I don't give a shit. You talk to me about that shit. There's a place when you take the Suboxones, and there's a place when you take that stuff, but it's a taper. It's not, if you're on Suboxone 6-12 months after you stop taking drugs, you're still a drug addict and you're still taking drugs. Don't let that fool you. Oh, but you can't say that. Yeah, I can. And I just did. I don't argue with anybody. Just these are the facts. This is how it happens. You either follow or you don't. You either believe or you don't. I don't give a shit. And we have this conversation, Chris, with patients. Like, oh, I'm not too sure. And I stop. I go, hey, I don't give a fuck whether you come on board or not. Just let me put that out there. I don't give a shit. I'm still going to go home and eat tonight. I don't give a shit. If you want to come on, you're my guy. If you don't, fuck out the office. What? You want me to? I'm trying to convince you to come? No. They stopped about 15 years ago for me. We're very blunt. We're very aggressive. It's a whole lot of your life we take over. Even though it's an hour a day, there's lots of other stuff during the day that we got you going and checking on you, but it's a full commitment. And we're very, very aggressive on that. There's many a time I've told people to get the fuck out of my office and get dragged into the licensing department again, but just let me get this right. You told somebody to get the fuck out of your office. That's a complaint. Now, I don't believe that. Oh, no, it's true. Well, eventually, I had to walk away from my license about 5 years ago because we were doing treatment that wasn't in line with normal with normal therapy because, we don't believe that. Nothing changes, nothing changes. And then, I've been going to a therapist. How long? About 4 years now. The fuck are you talking about, you guys? What? I don't get it. And then we get the other guys. Oh, Dr. Robb, listen. Oh, I'm so depressed. I go, Mrs. Smith, I'm so sorry. How long you been depressed? 7 years. 7 years. Oh, I'm so, oh my God. Do you take anything for it? Yeah, I take Wellbutrin, yeah. Oh, how long you been taking Wellbutrin? About 4 years now. When the fuck do you think it's going to kick in? That you're taking the antidepressant pill to make you happy. It's not kicked in yet, but you're still taking it. I don't get it. I don't get it. It's the mentality that if we're taking something from the pharmaceutical companies, that it must be right. And what I'm telling guys is, no, don't believe what your doctor what does your doctor know about PTSD and addiction? He knows nothing. He knows nothing about that. He'll just put you on a drug that the local or big companies have got you on, so he gets a backhander. Oh, you can't say that, Rob. I did. He gets a backhander, and a few.
That's public information.
Yeah, I mean, this licensing and legalizing marijuana, I ain't got a problem with that. But Mr. Governor, explain to people what it is and what it does to the brain. That's all. Let them make the choice. It's brilliant, But people don't understand that once you go on certain drugs, you ain't coming off it, man. You ain't.
Very true, because it does redo it. From the research I've done, a lot of the medications they give for depression, PTSD, anxiety, all of it, it does rewire your
does.
neurons. You were saying earlier, you lose those 300 neurons, it's going to rewire it how it wants to.
Yeah.
Not going to just say, oh, it's going to be okay. No. You're going to chemically depend on these new neurons.
When I'm doing talks and conferences, I ask the audience, I go, has anybody been to the doctor for an ailment or disease or illness? He's give you medication for that ailment. You've taken the medication, it's cured the ailment, and you never have to take the medication again. Not one person puts their hand up. And it shocks people. And you go, oh my God, it's like the medical fraternity and the pharmaceutical companies are not there to heal. They're not there to cure. They have to give you stuff that take you away, help you divert pathways and mood disorders and stuff like that. You're never cured of it. So now you're stuck on that false serotonin for the rest of your life. And your own serotonin is stuck down here because this false one, you can't go higher. And all of a sudden it depletes and you are relying on this every day. Well, any pill that we take over a period of time, shelf life, you have to take more and more. And that's just the way they've got us, unfortunately.
And we got to be into it, and that's the bad thing is that becomes the normal. And, when we become normalized being chemical dependent, we are addicts in the end.
Yeah.
And that's the funny thing about it. If you look at the definition of addict, it is one that cannot live without the substance. But we're on all these medications. Ta-da!
I believe everyone has an addiction. So, some are good, most are terrible, but we don't see it because it's normalized today. When I came to America, I used to ask people, "You take medication?" Because in England, you can't just go to the doctor and tell him what you want. I mean, God, blimey, my old doctor would have battered me to death. But I found that 9 out of 10 people that I got introduced over the first couple of years was on medication of some sort, and I'm like, wow, do you really need that stuff? Oh yeah, the doctor says this will cure me. Well, here's my problem. Let's look up depression in the American Medical Dictionary, and it says lack of serotonin. That's what depression is. So why aren't we asking ourselves before we go to the doctor why my serotonin is low in the first place? Because there's loads of ways to get it up, including just normal sunshine. But we're not. We go and we get a false one that we're stuck on the rest of our lives. And one of our deals is ask questions, do your research. It's 2026. The side effects of this, do I need it? Is there an alternative? It's like, I have a medical doctor that we partner with, and he deals with cancer. He's hardcore dealing with cancer, and he's seen some amazing results. Now, he's a medical doctor and just about keeps his license because everyone else thinks he's crazy, but he's curing shit in that place. He's really curing stuff. And that's what we do here, We're always going to be the outsource. We're always going to be the guys that are a little bit crazy but we're the ones that are getting results. So after, I don't know, it's probably 11,000 patients now or something over the 30 years with a 98% success rate, 99. We're doing something right.
You got to be with them numbers.
Yeah. And people, like, that's impossible. No, it's not. Come and see our research, come and see what we do. And then you'll understand, because every patient that starts it, you go, I'm trusting you, Dr. Robb, but listen, I've been here, and I've spent money here and there. And after the first session, you go, holy shit, because we're doing subliminal work, we're planting stuff. And the minute they come here, we're just doing early research on Alzheimer's. And we've seen a 13% increase with 4 patients that's been everywhere and paid a fortune. 30% increase. So we had them tested and before, we had it tested after the treatment, 13% recall in short-term memory.
Wow.
Alzheimer's doesn't kill neural pathways and thought patterns. They just go gray, they go null, they go void, but you can restore them with the right treatment. And again, it's like, that's impossible. Well, you didn't pull up to say that, of course. If your thing is impossible, guess what? It's fucking impossible. But if you expect great things and the mind, there's loads of research out there and, the different, can't remember the word, when they give you a pill, but it's a sugar pill and you think you got cured. There's loads of research out there and it's what you believe in and what you're presented and how you train the mind, because every disease in the body or every illness in the body comes down to 2 things, toxicity and deficiency. What am I being poisoned with and what am I deficient in? And if you were to have a proper test, you would be aghast what you are deficient in. And that's causing depression and heart problems. Like people, they go, oh, well, I have heart problems. Oh, yeah, it's in the family. My dad has heart problems, so it's like hereditary. Let me stop you there, buddy. Pass heart disease down from a generation is virtually impossible. It's definitely medically impossible. Well, how'd you get that? I mean, it's generation. It's the methylation that we're suffering. So methylation, so if I eat something, whatever it is, it's not used in that source. It's changed to an energy that the body can use, that the body, let's call methylate it so the body can use it. So if I can't methylate, let's say beans, for instance, if I can't methylate beans, there becomes a deficiency in the body. Well, my father was on beans every day because my mum loved beans. So when I left the house, I was on beans every day because my family, it's easy, it's quick. It's like the methylation of that substance or whatever it is that you're taking, beans or whatever it is that you're taking, can't be methylated. There's a deficiency and that's what causes it. And we think it's generational. And it's like, go and have a methylation test. If you're serious about your health, I mean, all these lies you're being told. Same with addiction. When we started teaching about addiction, going, that's not true. Because AA said, or my sponsor, or my doctor said, it's like, dude, not the way. Really. Now, there are medications that we use if you're on heart medications. Let me put a disclaimer out there before we get all sorts of fucking lawsuits. If you're keep taking, if you're on depression, keep taking it. It's amazing. Keep taking it. I'm talking about the guys that are not depressed or not had a treatment or not been on medication yet. There's a question how we can get them, endorphin. Well, you got dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins. Every single day needs to happen. Everybody knows that in the brain to be happy every day. Dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphin. Okay. But did you know that 2 of those, the most important neurotransmitters, dopamine and serotonin, are created in the stomach, in the gut? So if you're not eating the right stuff, it's not going to create, and that's why one of the reasons we get depressed. Show me somebody with gut issues, and I'll show you someone who's depressed, and vice versa.
Did not know that. That's pretty interesting right there.
It's like we've only spent 40 minutes on it, and already we're blowing people's minds. It's like we've done the research. You've got to take your health seriously. I'm 65.
You don't look it, by the way.
Do I look 65? No, I don't, because I'm living what I'm teaching. I want to live to be 100. It's just, and expect great things every day. God, go back to even Freud. They'll tell you, and Jung, when we think about negative things will happen. It's the energy we give out. So the energy with the mind is very real, guys. It's very real, but you've got to know that it's not the brain that's making the decisions, it's the mind. Hence the saying, mind over matter. The brain's matter. So if we control the brain first thing in the morning, get rid of the subconscious and introduce the conscious, cannot the mind control the brain, control the out? Of course we can. There's the work that we do. So eventually we can automatically go into that great positive day where nothing's going to bother you. Like you could say some nasty things now to me, Chris, but if I don't give you permission that I accept that it doesn't bother me. I have to give you, yeah, I have to validate what you're saying before it can hurt me. Like you're a
Very
piece
true.
of shit. You know, you do it. That's your opinion. Good on you. You know, what do you think about this, Doctor? I saw a piece, in the paper the other day, and he said you're controversial. Okay, it's not a question; it's a statement. Are you done? Are you done? I stopped doing this shit a long time ago. What you thought about it? Because at one time, going back about 12 years, I was put into a psychiatric ward because I had a break trying to please everybody and worry what people said, and apps and Dr. Kelly's a shit. He's not England from England. He didn't go to college. He's only 4 foot tall. He said he's 6 foot. Anything that they can get you on, especially when I went on national TV, they try and it's like whatever, dude, whatever. So. And what really makes me smile is 9 out of 10 times. So nobody that's doing as good as you or better will ever negatively comment on anything that you do. So think about that, guys. The guys that are commenting are probably the guys after the fourth divorce back at mom and dad's in the basement. They don't see the kids and they're giving you advice on what you fucking should do. I don't think so, dude. God bless you.
That's very true, and and that's the funny thing is we all sit there and we judge each other, and shouldn't be any of that. I know that's human nature. I get that, but when we're in a field to help others and we start picking at each other, it start a detrimental effect on everybody around us. Like you're saying, you have to let that shit roll off your shoulders. You have to stop letting other people get at you. And if you need help, seek help.
Go get help. Yeah, go. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be anything. This is your life we're talking about, guys. I've had a few good comments. One of the biggest comments that I got is when I first got in the industry, and obviously we didn't know what we knew then. So someone was failing, and I was telling a friend of mine, a very wise friend, and he said to me, "Rob, it's not about you." I was like, "What? It's not about you? Why are you getting emotionally involved in this? This is about other people that you're meant to heal. Fuck are you doing getting all depressed and shit? There's people dying out there, Rob. It's not about you." And I've lived my life on that. It's not about me. All this shit's not about, well, look at you. You drive this. Who gives a shit? If you want a $5,000 a month car payment, go fucking get $5,000 a month. That's what I pay. There's a price to pay for everything you have. When I see a guy in a Rolls Royce or something, I never go, "Oh my God, he's so lucky." The first question I ask Chris is, what has he paid to drive that? Not financially. What has he had to pay to drive that car? Because there's a price on everything, man. It's not always monetary.
Right. And that's the sad thing about it is we all try to over meet expectations, and we get these fancy cars, we get these fancy watches, and
Yeah.
it's nothing. Like you said, what are you paying in the end for that?
And who are you trying to impress? Because that was
Right.
another
Why are
one.
you trying to impress them?
So yeah, I used to drive this $400,000 Bentley, and 4 weeks ago I got rid of it because I heard this podcast, and it was some athlete or I think it was a rap star, a young one coming through, and he was interviewing. He said, "Well, I've got to ask you, man." He says, "You're the only rapper I've ever interviewed with no chains or watches and stuff like that, and no gold glasses and stuff." And he says, "For what? Who am I trying to impress? Am I trying to impress you because I'm wearing this and doing this? Why?" And it really hit on with me. It's like, I buy this stuff around me because I can afford it. I never go into debt for anything. I work hard, I play hard. But there's just some things that I don't really need now as I'm getting into, my later age in life, that I've done it. Traveled on the jets, drove the cars, lived crazy life. It's like now we can just spend the rest of the years just purely helping people because I've already done it. So I have to tell people today that I have something that's very rare with the human being, and that being I have enough. I have enough of everything. I have enough.
And that's the biggest thing is, you're able to admit that and do that, and that's just tremendous, because so many people sit there and delve on things, and they try to beat themselves up for no damn reasons.
Yeah, and when we sit down with these guys, they go, well, I got this car. Why'd you get the car? I got Mercedes. Why'd you drive a Mercedes? It's a German. Why did you drive a Mercedes? And eventually the guys, the next door neighbor, I'm trying to impress him and him. It's like, you got nothing to prove to anybody, guys. You really haven't. And yes and no is a full enough answer. We get in that. Hey, Rob, are you coming to the gig next week? No, I can't. Let me tell you why. Because my auntie's uncle's dog, like the dog, it's like, no, thank you, but no, I'm good. You
No,
know,
that's it. Done.
biggest lesson in life, guys, stop giving a fuck what people think about you. It's very hard to do, but if you do you work, you get into a place where I call studying the sunlight of the spirit. You can't, what are you going to do to me that I haven't already done to myself? I paid $1 million over 5 years for an office in Dallas. My friend said, how the hell do you sleep at night? What the fuck are they going to do to me that I haven't already been through and done to myself? What? They take the office of me? I don't worry about that shit. It always works out in the end. Once you get away from depression, PTSD, alcohol, drugs, sex, porn, food, whatever it is, once you do your work on that, what's the worst thing can happen? Because it never will.
So, I guess one thing too on this that just popped in my head. I don't know why this popped in my head when you were saying that. Why is it that a bunch of us in first response and veterans, have this dark humor? We don't sleep worth a shit. We always drink too much caffeine. Why is it always we use the dark humor to cope?
There's a lesson in animals. So, guys, if you've ever hit a deer uh, on the road, but it's not killed, you just hit it slightly, it's skidded across the road. This is what happens. It's miraculous what happens. So the deer will stay motionless for a couple of seconds, and then it'll jump to its feet. What it does next is miraculous. It will shake violently for a few seconds. It's just shook all that trauma off. So it's psychological. So the next day, it could be the same day, same car, same that, because he shook that off. Human beings don't do that. So they stuff it down and stuff it down and stuff it down. And then the only release from that is humor around that. And they go, oh, you got to have humor in our job. Well, of course you do. But when you're taking that, if the subconscious brain taking that, whatever you say, because whatever you say eventually comes true, it damages people. And that's why people stay in that loop. It's called the basal ganglia in the brain. They stay in that loop of self-sabotage. So then we're looking for outside sources to make me feel normal. When you see the stuff that you've seen and all the guys out there, it's not normal. You shouldn't be seeing that stuff. And it affects the brain. So and we stuff it down. So eventually it comes out in all sorts of weird ways. And most of it being relationships and stuff like that. They can't keep relationships, they're sick every couple of weeks. It's all down to the brain and the chemicals that's being fed to you. It's all negative stuff. And the placebo effect, that's the word I'm looking for. The placebo effect is unbelievable. We've done it hundreds, thousands of times here. It's like, if you believe you've got that, and we tell you often enough, then you're going to start believe you've got that, as in positive stuff. And everything falls into place. And you go, wow, I don't understand what them guys did, but my life's taken off. Of course it has, because your life's always been there. So we're the great believer that every neural pathway, thought pattern, therefore behavior, for success, for health, for wealth, is already built in the brain. We just need to connect them. Once we connect them, that's what we do. We connect them neural pathways. There's no coming apart. You can go off the wild end and start using the subconscious brain more than often and become depressed or homeless again. But once they're built, they're very strong. And that's what we need to look at. It's like, can I heal from this? Yes. I don't care what you've gone through. Everything's fixable. Now, again, alcoholism, you can't cure it, but you can arrest it for 50, 100 years. It doesn't make any difference. It's like the quality of life that we have today is very important to me. So I'm going to tell you a news exclusive that nobody knows. Nobody knows, Chris. It's the day I was diagnosed with prostate cancer.
Wow.
Did I cancel the show? Fuck no. Did I stop seeing patients? No. Has it got me depressed? No. Shit. Whatever happens, will happen, but I'm not giving it from tomorrow. We have to discuss it today with the family and treatment option. But from tomorrow, I'm not giving that any power. It ain't happening to me. I'm going to focus on what I need to do. So let's say, for goodness sake, in 5 years' time, I die. I want 5 years of hundreds of thousands of patients being healed. Because I believe in God, okay?
Yes, sir.
And because God saved me on the streets. And I believe that when I get to heaven, you know what? God's not going to ask me, how much is that car you were driving? How's you lifting? He's not going to ask that question, Chris. He's going to ask me one question. How many people did you help? How many people did you bring to me, Rob? That's what he's going to ask. And I want a big number. And that's how I live my life today.
That's awesome. So one quick note before we wrap up. Just want to throw this out here for everyone listening. One of the things I'm working on towards this year is University of Florida critical care program. For me, it's sharpening the craft, bettering critical care knowledge, trying to bring it back to my patients, the crews, and eventually back to the people I teach. So just for everyone listening, I got a support page up at criticalrun.com. Anyone who wants to support it, please do it.
Yeah.
About $1,500. No pressure at all. Share it if you can. Just trying to build it forward. So somebody's listening to this and they're still hiding all of it, right?
Yeah.
So they're still working. They're still answering cars. They're still wearing the uniform, still making jokes, showing up at home, just enough so nobody fully called them out yet. But they know the drinking is different now. They know their anger is worse. They know the silence is getting louder. They know they're lying not just to themselves, but everyone around them. And they're scared that asking for help will cost them everything. What do they need to hear from you?
Get help from the right people, talk to the right people. It's not embarrassing. It's not weak. Strong men stand up. And if they have problems, they see to it straight away. You can't do this on your own, guys. Especially what you guys who listen to this have gone through. Thank you for your service and God bless you guys. But you can't go through on your own. There's plenty of people out there like us, one would imagine. But yeah, you don't have to live like this. You really don't. You know, you can change your whole life. Because what I would hate for you guys out there is to get to the age of, let's say, 75, look back on your life and realize two things. There's nobody watching you and you can really do anything you want to do. And when you put that into perspective, that's how I live my life. But nobody's watching me and God's watching me. No human beings are watching me. They don't care about me. They've got their own shit going on. And I really can do. We opened a British restaurant in San Antonio, Texas, Tex-Mex country. My financial guys and everywhere. Are you insane? You can't open a freaking fish and chip shop and high tea shop in San Antonio. We're in the top 12. We've only been open 3 years. We're in the top 12 of restaurants in San Antonio that are successful. There's 32 restaurants in San Antonio that's gone out of business because of the crisis right now. No one's got any money. Nobody's going out as much. But we're in there now. We're in the top 12%. It's because you can do anything you want to do and nobody's watching you guys. Go do it. Go do it.
Awesome.
Date that girl, buy that house, buy that car, do it, man. Because it made a difference because we're not promised tomorrow. So
if anyone wants to learn more about you or read your studies, how can they do that?
So best way is go to the website. So if you're listening and not watching, I spell my name with 2 B's. So it's ROBBKELOY.com. Jump on there. All the socials are there. Everything's there. There's a place on there called Breathbox, which is another company with the software we talked about. You can do it worldwide. You just need to be into a computer or iPad or iPhone or whatever with headphones. It's a healing process. It's absolutely amazing. We'll give you your first session free just to prove it's going to change you. But yeah, go and enjoy that. There's a book out there. So this is the book I've wrote. Daddy, Please Stop Drinking. It's called. It's on Amazon. Please don't go buy it off Amazon. Just contact myself or Chris and just said, hey, I was watching the podcast. It's amazing. Let's give $10 away. I'll sign them personally to you. I'll pay for the shipping and everything. And it's all free on one condition that when you finish with it, you pass it on to somebody else that may need it.
That's awesome. This has been a great podcast today, and I'm privileged to have talked to you today. Huge thank you for that. Thank you for talking about all of it. And as we said earlier, if you need help, please reach out and get it. Reach out to 988 or one of the support groups out there.
Beautiful.
Stop.
Thanks, please.
If you think it's too heavy to say it anyway. It beats a eulogy. You don't have to apologize for surviving however you can. You're not the reason things are heavy. You're the reason they're still moving. Need support right now? Reach out to me. Reach out to somebody. Text or call 988 or visit 988lifeline.org. You're not alone. Not in this job. Not in this fight. Want to share your story or connect? Visit critical-run.com or message the Facebook page, Dispatched and Dysfunctional. We're building this for you, for them, for all of us.